are moving to the next session. Now we'll delve into a critical conversation on Kerala angel investment landscape, opportunities, insights, and challenges. We are honored to have an exceptional panel of experts joining us today who bring years of experience and deep knowledge in the angel investment space. Let me take a moment to introduce them. We are thrilled to have with us Mr. Santhosh Jose, the venture partner at Konglo Ventures, who will be guiding this discussion. He is a seasoned entrepreneur and investor known for his innovative approach in the startup ecosystem. Our distinguished speakers today are Mr. Ajit Moopan, Chairman, MN Holdings, past President at Thai Kerala and Founder President Kerala Angels Network, who will share his valuable insights into how Kerala is becoming a key player in the angel investment landscape. We have Mr. Shilen Sagunan, Chairman, Malabar Angel Network, who has been actively involved in supporting and nurturing startups through funding and mentorship. We also have with us Mr. Vinay James, Chairman and Managing Director, VentureWay Startup Ecosystem, who has been having an understanding of emerging trends and early stage investment opportunities. We also have Mr. Babu Sivadasan, co-founder and CEO of JIFFY.ai, who will be bringing with him a lot of unique perspectives from both the sides of the table as a founder and also as an investor. Mr. Shiraj Jacob, Director of Phoenix Angels, known for his strategic investments and efforts in scaling innovation-driven startup ecosystem, will also be joining. Let's give them a warm welcome as they take the stage. Panel, please.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So post-lunch sessions, not anybody's favorite. But then I think looking at the stage, we've got pretty much all of the heavy hitters of the angel investment ecosystem in Kerala. So it's definitely going to be a very interesting session. Now, before I begin, I just wanted to get an understanding of what the audience demographic is like. Are there any founders in the audience? Oh, okay. That's any wannabe founders? Okay, yeah, not bad. And anyone looking to get into angel investing? Oh, okay. Well, interesting. Yeah. So today's session, how we want to drive the session and what we want to focus on is sort of introduce some of the key players in the angel investment network in Kerala and sort of bring their stories. And the idea is so that you can meet the humans behind the checks that are being written, supporting all the startups. So this will probably help you sort of in your interactions with them, and or maybe even help you find and identify the right angel network that you want to be part of as you seek funding, or even as an angel investor, if you're trying to join a network, you might find one of the networks that are most aligned to your needs and wants. Yeah. So why don't we start by a round of introductions? So maybe each of you can just tell your name, where you're based, any angel network affiliations you have, and maybe a little bit stats of your angel investment portfolio. So number of startups you've invested in, since how long you've been investing, etc. So Vinay, do you want to start?
Yeah, you could probably keep this, right?
Okay.
Hey, thank you, Santhosh. Good to be here. To give you a background, so I'm a part of about 4 or 5 different angel networks in India and outside, a few of them outside the country. And but in the context of Huddle, I would say what is most relevant would be Sparks Angel Network, which is an angel network mostly comprising of people from Kerala. We have a few people outside Kerala as well. We have done probably 50% of our, more than 50% of our investments would have been done in Kerala, but we are open to investments everywhere. Sparks, we've done 17 investments so far. Average check size, quite small, 40, 50 lakhs, probably 50 lakhs right now. And we're sector agnostic. We come in very early. Probably that's why that check size still makes sense. And we invest across the board, yeah. So we've started in 2017. we used to do one pitching session every week. Then we realized it's a little too much for the number of angels we have. We have about 45 angels, out of which probably about 20 would be in Kerala. The other 25 would be spread across the world. Mostly diaspora, but we have a few foreign origin members as well.
Okay, thanks, Vinay. Next, Shiraj.
Thank you, Santhosh, and really excited to be here. So this is the third hurdles I am here. My background is into banking and financial services. I am based out of Dubai. Phoenix Angels got started in 2022, so we are just new compared to all other investors. So we have invested around into 3 companies. We invested into MyCare. That was our first investment. Our average check size is 1 crore. So we'd have invested around 4 to 5 crores as of now. That would be like $500,000. 50% of the investors are from Dubai and 50% from Thrissur. So because we started from Thrissur, 50% mostly are from Thrissur, based out of Thrissur, from Dubai and Thrissur. So we are looking to any kind of sectors, basically, not specifically into tech sector, or there is no specific sectors actually. And that's it.
And just for clarification, the term Phoenix in your Angel Network's name does not refer to Phoenix, Arizona.
No.
Right?
This is completely
So,
a Thrissur-based angel network.
yeah, probably Thrissur Angels was already taken by a football team or something.
Yeah. We tried to get that name, but we didn't get it.
Over to you, Shilen.
Hi, my name is Shilen. I come from a tech background. I started my career in Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, and I was there for 9 years. After that, I got into entrepreneurship. So I was part of a company which we grew, and then that was later acquired by Nielsen Media. So after that, the thing is like this. The story is like this. So this must be sometime in 2010 or something, So there we used to see a lot of entrepreneurs coming up. At that time, this notion of angel, or it was like something like an investment. That notion was not there in this region, and we had a lot of entrepreneurs particularly in Cochin, so who wanted to scale up, and there was no such option available here, and but there were a lot of discussions on doing this, that, and all. So finally, a group of us decided that let us start something, without, and the first one was almost a disaster, okay? And we'll try to learn something by doing it rather than going into the theoretical part. So we started there, and only one difference is that we created 2 things. One, an incubator in Kannur. It is on a PPP model, and also another thing which is on a non-profit model, this angel model. Okay? So our model was that we will bring in liquidity so that this sort of investment, this sort of entrepreneurship which need this type of liquidity is available locally, so that the local economy will prosper. That was the philosophy behind it. We started this, I think we are almost around 10 plus investments right now. And ticket size goes from maybe 20 lakhs to the biggest one we have done is almost around 1.5 crore. Okay, so that is where we are right now. And me and Ajit, we did something yesterday. I don't think we can announce it now. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's it. We are all over the place. We have got investors in Cochin, Bangalore, Kannur, wherever. And we have a mix of people like in traders. That is how we started. We told some few traders based in Kannur that we'll do something. Okay, and there was another story also, like there was one guy who wanted to buy a boat. He was a fisherman. Okay, and we experimented this concept of this sort of investment. We gave him 30 lakhs or something to buy a boat, and we found out that this fisherman, one of the problem is that they are not good in financial planning. They may get all the catch in maybe 2 months, and then remaining they don't have no fishes in the sea. So we put a CFO there for a fisherman, that whatever money he makes, that has to come to him, and then he will ensure that it is paid across the date. So the people who invested made around 12% return within 2 years, and that is the motivation of we started this. Ajit.
Okay. And Shilen, is it with that money that you bought? You have a boat now, right? That you go shipping.
No comments.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting for the invitation, by the way, to take me on a boating trip. Yeah, thanks, Shilen. Yeah, over to you, Ajit.
Is it a yacht? Or?
No.
I have not seen it yet. It's.
All right. So I'm Ajit Moopan. I'm an entrepreneur by profession, and about the network, Kerala Angel Network, I'm happy that we formed it I was the founder president with ample support from my colleagues. Roy is here and Kamath, and we founded it in November 1st of 2019, Kerala Piravi Days. Vinay was also part of, so he's part of the many networks that he's. So, but typically, effectively 2020, you can say we are a nascent network, just 4 years old, 70 plus members, out of which 3 women. And deal subscription, I mean, yeah, we have done invested in 14 startups, 24 deals, because many follow on deals. And in this span of 4 years, our collective investment, some of them are co-invested with other networks. So collectively, cumulatively, we have done $15 million. Yeah, of which I think exclusively if you take the CAN participation, it would be about, I think 35-40%. Still, yeah. So that's the kind of funding space that we have done. You have
No, I think 24 deals in 4 years is a spectacular number. You might be one of the most active angel networks in Kerala at the moment.
Well, thankfully, yeah, in fact, the profile of our members are good. I mean, they all they all realize this is a high risk investment class, but you don't want to go there now. But there are 4 family offices also part of this 70 members. We are very optimistic to take it to 100 within probably the end of this financial year.
Well, all Kerala family
All
houses?
Kerala,
Oh,
all
okay.
Kerala. The
Right,
membership
yeah.
is, all spread around Kerala, but principally Kochi, Trivandrum, and yeah, but we have from everywhere. Anything else I did not mention?
No, I think
among
yeah,
the
you've
first-
covered pretty much
Okay.
everything. All right, thanks Ajit.
you. Over
and
to
over to you.
Thank you. Babu Sivadasan, co-founder and CEO of JIFFY.ai. I'm an engineer at heart, an entrepreneur, and got into supporting other fellow entrepreneurs. So it, I've probably done 25 investments so far. Started doing it from when you have some money, right? So started 25 years ago, right? And yeah, I'm not, they're all professionals. I'm not a professional by any means. I'm just a fellow entrepreneur trying to do my part, So a lot of my investments are, I like the idea, I'm drawn by good quality products, so a lot of good ideas, the entrepreneur is working really hard to make something happen, very unconventional in a lot of cases. I've done investments without any contracts, without any agreements. Yeah, so you do what you can, right?
And for some of the younger founders who were probably, I mean, Babu was probably investing in startups before some of you were born. He's a legend in the Kerala angel investing network. I mean, a lot of the big names that come out of Kerala, Babu has had some sort of role to play in their success. So thank you so much for doing all that you've done.
Welcome. And so thank you. And this is my first hurdle.
Well, long time coming.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's great to be here. I didn't expect the event to be this big, so great to be here.
Right. Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go on to the questions. So maybe, Shilen, since I've known you the longest here, I'll start with you. So you've been involved with the startup ecosystem in one form or the other. I mean, investments, obviously, but also you've played a lot of roles advising governments, enabling, setting up of incubators, etc. So what was it that really got into it? Like, what excited you? Was it the money or was it something else?
The thing is that I'm not a static person. That to be start. I started my career teaching. I was teaching aerospace engineering in IIT Mumbai. That was my first job. Okay? Then afterwards, I thought that maybe I'll try something. That's how I got into ISRO. As a scientist, I was there for 10 years. Okay. Then afterwards, I thought maybe I should do something different. That's how I went to America, and then joined a startup. And luckily, was part of that startup which we took to IPO. I was in one of the part of the leadership.
Congratulations. Yeah.
And this is a long story. And then after being in US for 10 years, and we thought that, why not go to India? Okay. So I sold my car, sold my house, because I know that if I have a plan B, plan A will not work. Okay. So I came to India, and then with an idea. So since I was pretty connected in the US, I could get some money to get the investment, So I started this media analytics company here, which was into how people consume media. Luckily, things went fine, and then, I got a good exit. So next thing is that after that, what to do next?
Could I ask the name of that company?
Arbitron.
Arbitron, okay.
Okay. So after that, I thought that maybe I went to teaching again. And then I went to Moscow, and I was teaching in Moscow Financial University how to do international business. That was the thing for the next couple of months.
So do you have ties with Putin by any chance, or no?
I was supposed to go to Ukraine for a project. And then my neighbor, who's Saju, he's the managing director of Flagaman. He told me, if you go to Russia or to this place, the Crimean Peninsula, then you can never go back to US. So that was advice which I was told. So I had to drop that thing. So I came back then I was trying to figure out, what to do next, whether to do this. And then all this thing about startups. So I was pretty connected with an ecosystem in Russia in startup. That is called Skolkovo, which is southwest of Moscow. Okay. And I'm also pretty connected with the startup ecosystem in Israel. That is in Galilee, northern Galilee. So the thing is, one thing which I was trying to figure out, so why don't we put something into startup thing? And then I had two things. One is do something in North Kerala, which is supposed to be, we had a lot of political, Kannur for all the bad reasons, not the good reasons. And we had people like KPP Nambiar, and we had people like this Leela Krishnan Nair, Ajit Balakrishnan, even now the Baiju also is from that that region. But however, unfortunately, people don't know that place for the good things. We thought we will do something, and that's how we thought that we will start this angel network from there in Kannur, and also build an incubator. So this was the idea. Okay. So that is how I got with the government, and then did all circus, and now we have that.
And regarding Shilen not being able to sit idle, I know that for a fact. He's also many other things. For instance, he's a secretary at Reka Club in Kakinad, Kochi. Those who are familiar or from Kochi.
Yeah, I run a bar there.
Yeah, he runs a bar there. Yes, that's how we became good friends. All right. So thank you so much, Shilen. Shiraj, your day job is essentially in the wealth management space, right? So you are essentially helping HNIs to preserve their wealth and also generate more wealth. So you have a good understanding of assessing risks and opportunities when you look at asset classes. So what is your view, or how do you explain to one of your clients regarding startups as an asset class? Like, how do you describe the opportunity to someone who has never looked at it before as an asset class?
See, angel investment, that's the highest risk asset class. Because I am mainly into wealth management, which I mostly focus on equities. So if you see asset class like angel investment or real estate or equities, angel investment is the highest risk with highest reward. See, if everything goes well, you get 10x, 20x or 30x in 5 to 7 years. Otherwise, നമ്മൾ മലയാളത്തിൽ കിട്ടിയ ഊട്ടി അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ചട്ടി എന്ന് പറയാം. Okay, but don't feel bad. But if you have patience and if you do good due diligence and if you invest in the right sector, we look for normally we look for a top-down approach where the government is spending more. See, for example, now we are looking at defense, wind and solar, water infrastructure. I think these are the sectors which we'll be interested now. So
yeah, that's a very good insight for the founders. Try to follow
proxy to these sectors which will be interested. See, previously the investment what we have done in EV. The more investment which I told you about, we invested almost $500,000, but we invested mostly 50 to 60% into charge mode.
Charging network.
Yeah, that's the biggest charging EV company network in Kerala. Yeah.
Right.
So if you see asset classes, everything is good. I say if you had invested in Dubai 2 years back, in 2 years you get 100% return. See, it all depends when you enter and when you exit.
Right.
See, that's an issue. Means everyone enters at the right time, but no one knows to exit. Which most of the time that's a problem.
Right.
So even whether that's angel investment, see, you need to have a good exit plan. See, that's what In Kerala, I don't know how many of them. I think you guys have done the more exit.
Yeah, I
Konglo
mean,
Ventures
yeah,
have done.
we've gotten lucky because we were there for a bit longer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
See, so you should see, I think 7 to 10 years. So that's the patience you required.
And when you look at the folks that you talk to in Thrissur and in GCC region, do you see a difference in terms of the risk appetite
Yeah, yeah, of
towards startups? Like which region
see,
is
GC
more?
is much better.
Okay.
See, like Shilen was saying, see, first he invested in a boat. So people are thinking, see, people are thinking to get returns from next month. See, if you see the kind of investment or people here, they want investment from next month, something like a dividend or whatever it is, whether it's 1% or 2%, they need something from next month, which is not possible in angel investment. And if you see, especially in Dubai, in UAE, see, why the risk appetite is better because see, the per capita income is around $50,000 in UAE. In Thrissur, it might be $1,000. So
Does have the highest number of HNIs in
yeah,
Kerala,
that's right.
according to Hurun
So-
Rich List, which got
So I'm trying
published.
to
Yeah,
convince
right.
that's the reason. One of our directors is from Double Horse.
Okay. Right.
So we have like our network we have got from Allied Group, Pulimutal is there.
Right.
So we're bringing in good next
The
generation.
traditional businesses into
Yeah.
the world of startups.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Yeah. And Ajit, you as well at Kerala Angel Network, I think you're on a similar journey. So if I were to, let's say, I am somebody who has a traditional business and I want to explore startup investing, and I approach you, how do I know if I'm a right fit to be an angel investor? Like, what's the typical demographic of the members in Khan?
I think it's a question of risk appetite. It's like, it's a long gestation investment, like at least 5 years. But to cite an example, one of the, within the portfolio companies, there are some who perform very well and some who scale up fast and the others who do not. So I will take an example of one D2C company of our portfolio, which has scaled up and from when we invested, they were like 10 lakhs. And now they'll hit 2 CR, this monthly run rate, right? And they just concluded an investment round at almost from what we invested then 5.5 times. So if their plan goes well, they plan to have a Series A round raise in Feb or March. At the targeted level, the investment will multiply 10x, right? But that doesn't give us an exit. The exit will come potentially in Series B, the next round, and where we might get a secondary exit, partial exit. Anyway, to give a sense of the, I hope I have not confused anyone.
No, those are some of the success stories that we want to hear.
But I say this because that's a typical, gestation period.
Right.
The minimum, like, could be 5 to 7 years. So coming back to the profile, I think I would say, it is a highest risk investment class if you look at it, because in terms of the risk factor as well as liquidity. So if you invest in stocks, listed stocks, it's only you know how much you make or not, but it's liquid all the time.
Right.
So this is not. But the gains are proportionate to the risk also, and even some may fail, but still you can make up from the rest. So the allocation is important. What I would say is allocation, what we tell everybody, so you allocate 5 to 10% of your portfolio.
You said 5 to 10%.
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
that's because,
yeah,
of course, that is for an average risk profile.
right.
If your risk appetite is more,
you
can definitely go in for more.
Yeah.
So, for example, our current president, Ravindra Kamath, he's not here now. He would be probably on a much higher level.
Right.
So it varies from person to person. But you asked me so I must speak from the averages, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So this is how it is. And of course, there's an inclination for people who have achieved something and some like to give back. But it's not give back in a charity mode, right? It's a give back with a profit motive,
Right.
definitely. And then there's also the motivation of contributing in other ways to the progress of the startup by mentoring or investor connect or the market connect. All those comes as part of the Kerala of the angel. Delete the Kerala of angel network. That's typically how angels contribute to the ecosystem, right?
And do you think that's like a motivating factor? Like people want to get involved. A lot of professionals who have worked and reached a significant stage, and they want to play a bigger part and have a bigger impact in the entire ecosystem. That's also driving apart from the financial
Yes, that's
upside.
so. I would put in three categories. One, who are exit entrepreneurs, who has the highest inclination of give back, and they are very eager to invest in startups. So that's one thing. Then there is other achievers who want to participate in the journey. Of this is something that's scalable, which can come up 10x, 20x, 30x in your lifetime, and or for 5 years, and create immense wealth. That's appealing to many people. Then there's a conventional people who sit on the fence and see how it goes, right? So these are the typical scenarios that we face.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Ajit. Vinay, you've done your MBA at London Business School, right? The capital of center of everything financial world. Was there any specific area that you specialized for your MBA?
It was private equity and venture capital.
Okay, and I don't mean to age you, but how long ago was that? Which year was this in?
That was after a 7-year break after my first MBA. And so this was in 2010 to
okay.
10 to 12.
So in 2010 itself, you decided to sort of focus on private equity and venture capital. Like, what made you do that? Like, did you have any...
2 failed startups before that where I pitched a lot and I couldn't raise. I wanted to be on the other side of the table.
Fair enough. So now you're maybe doing better on the other side.
Probably.
So let's say I'm someone who wants to get into investing in startups. I've got one option, which is to join an angel network and invest as an angel investor directly. Another option I could potentially take is become an LP and put money in a VC firm. Do you think for someone starting out on this journey, one of these is more preferred than the other?
It depends, right? It's a function of what the motivations are and what the orientation is also. So if your motivations are purely financial, probably getting an allocation with the right fund is a smart idea.
Better, right.
But so I am in the ecosystem primarily to learn, to stay connected, because after LBS, I ended up starting a mining company, and I've been in a very, very different space. So I started out investing in startups and engaging with startups to maintain some kind of balance and sanity. So for me, the learning was important, staying connected with the tech world was important, and that's what motivates me right now. So for someone like me, I don't think it makes sense to be an LP in a fund. But I understand the other extreme also. To cite an example, Sparks Angel Network, when we were then Smart Sparks, 2018 we were 25 odd members. By 2020 we were 11 members. Right. I basically realized that there are a lot of them who culturally, orientation-wise, probably not the right fit for angel investment. So we are a free angel network. We do everything. We have a full-time team coordinating the entire process from curation to complete coordination. And we don't charge the angels or the startups anything. So we have zero revenue, essentially. In a context like that, there are a lot of people who wanted to come in. HNIs. They were all HNIs. But I realized managing them was a big hassle because the orientation was probably not right. And even now, there are different angel investment master classes where I've taken, after which I've told KSUM that 50% of the crowd, you should probably introduce them to your fund of fund partners because they're probably more appropriate as LPs than angels. Now, if you ask me what the criteria based on which I could make a judgment like that would be, it'll take forever, so I'd rather not go there.
No, I think yesterday in one of the sessions, Robin said it's borderline insanity. If you have to do angel investments, that's what you need to have.
Yeah, it's a function of, so yes, from the risk perspective, it might not always be the most rational decision at every point of time, but that's why, right? As in, if it's 100% financial, then an LP, probably being an LP makes sense. You have a lot of people sitting here in the front row who manages funds very efficiently. You'd rather give them the money and have them invest. But otherwise, if you want to learn, if you want to be part of the journey and all that, angel investing is right.
Yeah, thank you so much. And speaking of VCs, Babu, for me, that always brings up Bay Area to the mind, especially Sand Hill Road. Do you live close to Sand Hill Road by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay, you do? Okay, there you go. So do you think having a concentration of, an investment community like that, let's say all VCs or angel networks in one single place like that, helps the ecosystem in any way?
Yeah, it does. It does, because the restaurants that you go to, everybody's there, right? All the entrepreneurs, and it makes it easier for an entrepreneur. Like, you can just go up and down Sand Hill Road, and then you can meet maybe 20 VCs. I mean, in general, you may have noticed this, right? Doctors' offices are together in one place.
Yes.
Dentist offices are together in one place. So like that, investors tend to stick together, and you wouldn't believe how small this world is. Everybody knows everybody, right? So it's sometimes it could be a difficult thing for if you're rejected from one, like you have a tough chance.
You just walk over to the
next one. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think Kerala, in India in general, like the emergence of these angel networks, that has been phenomenal, right? So it's much more, I think, much more well developed than, for example, US.
Okay. The angel network, you think?
Angel networks, in general.
Okay.
Started with Mumbai Angels, I think. They've been around in IAN and Mumbai Angels. Yeah. And if you look at US, you will find super angels like Ron Conway, people like that. But if you really look at how many are really structured, they have a public presence, they have a strong following, published results and things like that. Not as many.
Right. Yeah. There are a lot of individual angel investors maybe, but not networks like this, which are formally.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if you look at, for example, US produces probably 1 million startups a year, right? 1 million startups, and we are probably here 1/10 of that, right? And if you look at number of investors, you will find a similar proportion, but number of angel networks, I don't think there is a direct correlation like that.
Right. Yeah. So I think the key takeaway from that is we need to have a Sand Hill Road type of road in Kerala as well.
Yeah.
I think KSUM and Kalamassery HMT Road, it's a pretty nice stretch. We should have all the VC funds set up offices along that stretch. Yeah. Should have a petition for that. Sorry, Ajit.
Sorry, I just want to add a point. I made an inadvertent omission. This when I mentioned of the formation. This was the Kerala Angel Network is promoted by TIE Kerala. Incidentally, when I was also the TIE president of TIE, around that time, the tenure. So during my tenure, we launched this. But having said that, we have an equal number of non-TIE members. So it's not exclusive to TIE members. So I want to just put it out there. It was an omission from my side.
Yeah.
And also, when we mentioned the risk, one side, I mentioned this. Shiraj also said that it's a higher risk asset class, but nothing else better to mitigate the risk, within the network, because we have the pitch day, and we have a deal screening committee. I mean, this applies to most networks. And when I moved off after 3 years now to handle the mantle to Kamath, I remember those figures now. We had screened about 400 startups. From the basic pitch level, and we invested only in 4 that time. 4 startup exclusive. The deals were were more. Right now, it's moved up to 24. So these factors so the diversity of the membership, and the parts and help us, to screen the deal, as you're aware.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Got it. And talking about risk, Shiraj, maybe one for you. I know you have Phoenix Angels is pretty the new kid on the block, But based on your limited experience so far with startups, etc., in Kerala, do you have any advice to give to the startup founders in terms of how they can help mitigate risks for the investors and give better outcomes for the investors? Like, what do you think is missing in the Kerala startup ecosystem, specifically as advice to startup founders?
See, I've seen. See, most of them have technical know-how, but they don't know how to lead a team or market the product, and they don't have means what whom I've seen. Many of them doesn't have a proper vision. If they should have also, they should think even how to exit strategy. They should keep a exit strategy. Most of them doesn't have. They have a vague idea.
Right.
They don't have a long-term vision. Like to see, as we know, to for an angel investor to exit, it takes 5 to 7 years at least. So they should have at least 10 years of vision to what to do. And the problem is, another thing is, I feel there is a lack of funding also, and they don't know. And many startups, they don't use the funds properly.
Right.
See, if they get the fund, they might go and get a good office. See, you should know where to deploy the fund. They should have a clear roadmap of like at least 12 to 18 months. So I think, and I think even from Kerala Startup Mission, I feel there should be some tie-up with the angel investors or good people who are retired or like chartered accountants to mentor these founders. There should be some way. I think a lot of mentorship is required because many of the startups, they are just passed out from college and they're starting a business.
I guess because of the immense talent that we have on the engineering and technology, I guess the focus also becomes too much in that space, right? Like, you want to keep building amazing products, and you kind of forget about the business part of it. And especially when you take external investment, you essentially have a fiduciary responsibility to get returns for your investor, right? I guess that's what's missing.
Yeah, and I think, as I said, I feel mentorship is very important for most of them because, and to retain talent is also difficult to the initial team because when the lack of fund comes, the initial founder team might leave.
Right.
I've seen that. They want to exit and go.
Got it. Yeah. So that commitment, etc., all of that.
Right. So anyway, initially you'll have to burn a lot. So when the lack of fund comes, I have seen the founder team itself living. Only the founder will be there back. The other people want to exit their stake. So these kind of things I've seen a lot here now.
Right.
I've been only for 2 years. I think they should be having more experience on this. So I think Kerala Startup Mission and like Angel Networks, everyone together, we should do something for a long term.
So maybe going back to Angel Networks, Ajit, I mean, you touched upon this briefly. Let's say I'm somebody who wants to join Kerala Angel Network, right? How do I go about that? Is there any membership fees? Is there a vetting process? Or do I just give you my check?
Just, I mean, we are a network, right? We're not a fund. I mean, so we have a very nominal joining fee. I think it's 30,000 and equivalent membership fee, recurring membership fee.
That's an annual membership fee.
Right. So that's it. That used to be much lower when we started, but now that's it. But we look at, anybody who's interested, we tell them about what is in it for him, or her, the plus and minuses. We do brief them, and then, of course, when most of them who are inclined only approach us, right? Who's interested in the angel investment space, startup investment space. So initially, though, I would say, there was always this, even when we started the network, we had this problem of, the first thing is to getting off an ROI mode to wealth creation mode, right? That's a tough transition.
Right.
So those investors who are not accustomed to that, we do advise them, and then we tell them clearly, So it's better to let them watch most of our, probably all the pitches are online. So we allow them to, get a feel of those pitches to get a sense, what is it all about, and then before they come on board.
And I think you mentioned this point, like to be a member of Khan, you don't have to be a member of TIE, right?
No,
like
not at all. Not at all.
Even though they are associated, etc.
No. We're just promoted by TIE Kerala because because most of the well-run chapters in TIE globally, we have 66 plus chapters. It's a Silicon Valley-based organization, right? So they all have attached angel networks because funding is a strong pillar of funding, mentoring, and education like that. So therefore, it's very important. So that's how it is.
And similarly, so maybe one for Vinay. So let's say I got into a network like Sparks. What does my day-to-day look like after that in terms of deal sourcing, listening to pitch decks, making a decision, group think, due diligence, all of that?
So in terms of process, we have an SOP for pretty much every bit of the process. So deal sourcing, there are members who we request members to, as in we ask members whether they're okay being a curator as well. So
Meaning
we have
the
some
members can bring in.
No, some members can be the curators don't, they're not venture partners.
Okay.
So curators help us. So let's say a health tech startup applies to us. We have about 2-3 people who have a deep understanding in that space. So they become the member curator for after the team does the preliminary curation and the initial filtering and all that. The member curators get on a call with the startup to kind of evaluate, and it is shared with the member curators' notes to the rest of the network.
Right.
So it's a volunteering thing. So not all members are curators, but we have about probably 5-10 members or curators, so different fields. So other than that, when a deal comes in, we don't members, whenever we want some help for due diligence and all that, we reach out. When a member curator feels there is some other member who should probably listen to the same pitch, it's recorded for them as well. In terms of day-to-day operations, everything is done by the team. So we have a full-time team that kind of takes care of all operations. So from it is after the lead investor and the group that is interested in a particular investment is confirmed, we help them appoint a counsel and onboard a counsel if needed. Otherwise, but that's a lead investor's call. We can bring in our own counsel, or the group of investors can bring in a separate counsel as well. And then we support the whole process.
Right.
The negotiation and everything.
Got it. And maybe next to you, Shilen. So once, let's say, you've identified a startup that the team is interested in investing in, how does the negotiation and term sheet signing and post investment activities happen? So do you all invest as individuals, or do you form a syndicate? What's the typical model that you see?
Until now, it has been as individuals.
Okay.
But now recently, we have decided that we will do it as a fund. We don't have a fund, because that takes a lot of effort. And I don't think that we have got enough startups to do a fund mode, because it's pretty expensive. So, but we actually have other mechanisms, which we can use it so that only one person will be, or one SPV will be,
right.
One name will be in the cap table of the
startup.
The startup. I think that we have found out a loophole, how to do that. Okay, so that's it. We have got a team of 5 people,
right,
who does this. The whole support the whole secretariat of
the
this.
admin work.
The admin work of that.
And post the investment, how does a typical startup keep investors engaged, like investor updates, etc.? How does that happen?
So I think we have got a lot of work to do there.
Okay.
Because only when the things increases the number. So every month we have we have a lead investor, but again, we need to be more refined on the concept of the lead investor, because the thing is, ideally we give some privileges to the lead investor, even financially, but at the moment we are not gone there yet.
Okay.
But we are we are going to do that. Like, for example, they may get some sweat equity or whatever from this, who are spending time with this one. Every month reporting, it will be there.
And reporting that's on the owners of the startup founder, right, to make sure that they send the
that
updates.
Is one of the part of the agreement, which you have, that every one month, we get some update, and every 3 months, you have one of our, maybe 1 or 2 people will be part of their project update. They got this project update,
right.
So that we do,
right.
And we intervene also, because sometimes the people will come for help, like they wanted some. Typically on 2-3 areas. One is on market connect. Because that is one area people needs a lot of connection, because we have got people from diverse background in this thing. To customer connect is one area, and obviously funding also.
Right. Yeah.
So that also will come, and then since we are connected with some other big boys and girls, in this area. So we try to connect with them, and then it's
Right. Yeah.
And one thing which we found out is that some people they utilize this properly, and many times the guys don't use it. They will come look at investors only for money.
Right.
And once you get the money, all the things, good words will be told, before we cut this check.
Yeah.
But once the check is cut,
Yeah,
And there is
I
a
think
saying
the
in-
real strength of the angel network is in the network part, right? Because there's so many
Exactly.
group of people,
Yeah.
so the connections that you can open.
Yeah. But some people they use it very effectively.
Right,
But
yeah.
some other guys,
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, last night I was in an investor update meeting at Skybar. It started with a presentation, ended with 2 rounds of tequila. A lot of new connections were made. Yeah, so yeah, sometimes it is fun.
Yeah.
And maybe one question for you, Babu. I mean, you've been investing, for 25 years. That's like a really long time. Do you remember what was the first investment that you made in Kerala?
First investment in Kerala, I think, was Cares.
CareStack. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
But I've been investing in India
Got it.
in many companies and
Right,
things like
right.
that. Yeah.
And since that time, your early days of investments to now, do you see like a significant change in the types of startups that are getting formed and reaching out?
Yeah, India always consumer plays always focuses on that. Those are the only ones. It's hard for B2B companies to make money in India.
Right.
We don't respect technology, and we don't have the habit of paying for technology. It's always like, oh, I can have somebody here. 2 people can do it. So in general, we don't respect as a culture.
Right.
So it's hard.
And
But-
do you think that's the reason most B2B companies are focused fully on US? Like, we keep hearing
Yeah,
US.
exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I had personal experiences, so back in the early days of InvestNet, I decided to come to India. So I visited many financial advisors or wealth management firms in Mumbai. And what I used to sell for $1 million, people were willing to pay $5,000. That tells you the scale of, how undervalued business to business technology is in India.
Right. And how do you find it? I mean, now that you've founded your next venture, Jiffy, you're fully based in the US, right? Or do
we are based in US and India.
India,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
but you're selling primarily.
Customers are primarily in. We thought we could sell to everybody,
Right.
but then we realized the amount of effort it takes to sustain, right, and keep those clients happy in places like India, Southeast Asia is not easy.
Right,
So we decided not to sell any further.
Yeah. So being an investor as well as an operator, do those roles ever cross? Meaning, do you put your own money in your venture? Is that risky? Is it better to split those two?
In my case, probably, when you make an investment, you're investing into the unknown, right? You don't know that person well enough, right? At least in your case, you know yourself well enough, right? So probably chances are better you put money. you put money. And I personally, I've stayed away from entrepreneurs where you're trying to tell a great story and you're trying to say, you're going to give phenomenal returns and you're going to create great things, right? But then if you don't back it up, if you have the means, to make the investment, and if you don't do that, then normally I don't invest.
Oh, that's a red flag.
That's
okay,
a red
right,
flag,
got it,
right?
yeah,
Because you don't believe in the story, the same
Yourself, right.
story that you are selling to others, so that is something I stay away from.
Oh, okay.
And all my companies, whenever I had the ability, I was the largest individual investor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, wishing you continued success in all your endeavors. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think, we've got like a lot of audience here. I just wanted to open up the floor to the audience in case anyone has any questions to us. The mic. Yeah. Yeah. Ah, sure.
My question is to Ajit sir. I wanted to know that what is usually for Kerala Angel Networks, what are the kind of startups? So what is their funding in terms of value? What kind of bracket is there on an average? And if someone wants to become an angel network with Kerala Angel Networks, what is the minimum ticket size which usually the smaller investor takes, like in terms of amounts?
Yeah, okay. Good question, yeah. So, ticket size is just minimum is 5 lakhs. And we insist on, that when you become a member, we insist on at least one deal in a year. At least. But many of them do more. So we don't want a sleeping investor or a member, right? So that's it. And you asked about also the deal disbursement size. So we have from, say, 50 lakhs to, say, 2.5 CR. We did raise a big round once, 4 CR round, but we had to, the DD did not go well, so we had to pull it up. And it was subscribed in 48 hours. So typically our investments rounds get subscribed very quickly. The latest one Shilen was referring to, we are going to announce it tomorrow. So 2.4 CR, which got in 24 hours, it was subscribed. So we have very active participating set of angels. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, hi. My name is Adil. Yesterday someone here mentioned. No, I'll finish the question. Mentioned that many of the startups that is coming from Kerala is on semiconductor space and hardware space and all that, right? And some mentioned that you are looking more in terms of where the government is investing and all that. But my startup is an AI startup, but I come from insurance background. And there's a lot of fintech, insurtech, insurance as a service space, and all those things are happening, right? And those products are also there, companies are also there. So is there a specific lookout, like this kind of sector is what you really like? Even though you said that everyone is interested in investing in anything, but is there a specific industry? Fintech is almost died down. There's a lot of fintechs out there, but I'm saying insurtech is the next big thing that everyone is talking about, right? So yeah, what's your take on, anyone can take that?
Yeah, InsurTech, um, um, there's a lot of opportunities. Insurance is still one of those very old lethargic businesses, where automation hasn't quite come in. So there is opportunity, especially in India, but there are companies, that are trying to solve that problem without even ever visiting that person, right? Now, taking video pictures or videos and 15-second videos, and you can know a lot about that person, right? Now, there are companies like that, that are trying. I think, insurance compared to banking, I would say yes.
We as a network, sector agnostic. There's no particular sector we are interested in. But having said that, there's always flavor of the season, like Babu Sivadasan just said, InsurTech and the AI. In our portfolio, there are many tech, HR tech. What is it? We have D2C companies, which they got a shot in the arm with the quick commerce, the boost in quick commerce growth. Many like Blinkit and Swiss, Instamart and all that, coming in. But we remain sector agnostic. But so if our network doesn't have the diversity to assess the thing, we seek the help of other experts also for the deal screening.
So it was a VC, but for you, it's an angel network and many individual people are there. So would you be investing in the same, let's just say AI, you said you have mine is an AI startup. So let's just say, would you be interested, already you have invested in one company. Now, if it is similar or on a different tangent, but an AI or on a same tangent, would you be investing, or would you say that, okay, other angels can invest in that or something like that?
I can speak for our network. We don't exclude any deal like that. It's on the merit of largely the founder and the founding team. We look for a mentor and founding, and the scalability of the business idea. And we don't get into the seed round idea stage We go in typically when the revenue is past 5 lakhs, or a proven revenue traction is there, past MVP POC stage. That's when we. But there are certain networks who choose to be there in the idea stage itself. But I will let me pass the mic around.
So regarding sector focus, I mean, as Ajit already mentioned, angel networks usually are sector agnostic, but a lot of VC funds you'll see they might have specific sector focus, right? So that's probably an advice for you. Like if you are in a specific sector, then you can try to find VCs who invest primarily in those sector. There are also companies that have corporate venture arms as well, right? So let's say if it's a health company, they might have a venture division as well, and they are trying to find startups that are innovating in the health space, and they'll invest specifically in that. So that's probably an angle that you can pursue when you're looking at seeking sector-specific investments. Regarding an investor, let's say an angel network that's already invested in something and not investing in something similar. So if it's a competitor, then yeah, typically you wouldn't. But if it's in the same general industry, I don't see any reason why investors wouldn't take on the other investor, other investment. I think that brings us to the end. Thanks to all the panelists for taking the time out. It was a very insightful session. Hope it was useful for the audience as well. Cheers. Oh.
We must give a round of applause to Santhosh, because tomorrow we have Sashi Tharoor. Today we have Santhosh.
Thank you so much for panel for this enriching discussion. I kindly request Mr. Roy Verghese, Investor, Kerala Angel Network, to do away the honors. Sir, if you could please give away the honor to Babu sir. Thank you for joining us, Ajit sir. A heartfelt thanks to Shilen sir for joining us. Thank you for joining us, Shiraj sir. Thank you, Vinay sir, for joining us. And yes, Santhosh sir, for joining and being the moderator of the session. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Roy sir, for doing the honors. Thank you, panel.